One of the nation's largest pharmaceutical distributors has fired its chief diversity officer for doing his job. And there's no child-proof lid that can keep this story from getting out. I'm Erica Domingo, and this is the Toxic Workplace Report. So let's dive right in. AmerisourceBergen, one of the nation's largest pharmaceutical wholesalers and number 8 on the Fortune 500 list, is facing a new lawsuit from its former chief diversity officer. In the wake of the movement for racial justice that took off in 2020, Lonie Haynes was hired as the chief diversity officer by AmerisourceBergen. In his role, Dr. Haynes was expected to foster and advance the company's inclusive culture to ultimately build a stronger workforce. However, the lawsuit contends that each of his efforts towards racial diversity were rebuffed and resisted by his supervisors, 2 white females. By way of example only, the lawsuit contends that his supervisors disapproved of his recommendations to increase Black representation on the board of directors and the executive management committee. They also rejected his recommendation to report to the board of directors about the diversity efforts. In essence, they didn't want him to do the job that they hired him to do. Feeling that Dr. Haynes had been kept past his expiration date, the supervisors terminated him in October for alleged compliance violations. They claim the compliance violation arose from a $28,000 contract with a woman and minority-owned business that was providing promotional items to AmerisourceBergen, such as water bottles and tote bags. AmerisourceBergen claims that Dr. Haynes' wife had a financial interest in the vendor, which created a conflict of interest. However, in his lawsuit, Dr. Haynes contends that that reason is purely pretextual and that his wife had no dealings with that vendor for over 2 decades. Notably, Haynes was the only African American out of about 15 employees who reported to the 2 executives who terminated him. AmerisourceBergen is proud of our track record regarding diversity and inclusion, and it created the role of Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer to further the organization's accomplishments and efforts in this space. We firmly stand behind our decision to terminate Dr. Haynes' employment and will address the allegations made in the suit in our legal response. Ultimately, Dr. Haynes will have to wait and see if he gets any relief from this particular ailment. Thanks for watching this week's TWR. Side effects may include picking up the phone and calling your local employment lawyer to see if you have a claim for discrimination or retaliation. Don't forget to check with your doctor to see if commenting below or following Grungo Colarulo is right for you. It's a banger.